welcome to another exciting edition of the Chamber Dialogue. Yes, on the Facebook and YouTube channels of the Ghana Chamber of Telecommunications. Today is a special day. We are having an exciting conversation, exciting but also important conversation on how to protect yourself in 2025 from cyber threats. These days, you and I are always on our phone, we are always on Instagram, Twitter, using our emails. But how do we protect ourselves from cyber threats? Yes, interesting things are happening. Even though the digital space is very, very convenient, we use it to do amazing things, it can also serve as a hotspot for threats and ways by which people can attack you, take your data, compromise your systems. So as individuals and as businesses, what tips can we use in 2025 to protect ourselves? My name is Bobby Osei. Yes, this is the Chamber Dialogue. When we come back, we will introduce our special guests, special experts on the issue of cybersecurity and how you can protect yourself in 2025. Do stay with us.
Fiber optic cables keep Ghana connected. We all need to protect it together. Now, March 14th, 2024 will remain a date etched in Ghana's history. It was a day the nation plunged into darkness, not from a power outage, but from a loss of connectivity. The undersea cables that connected us to the world were severed, and suddenly the internet went silent. No emails, no online meetings, no WhatsApp, no YouTube, no Twitter, no TikTok, no mobile money, no internet in schools, hospitals, banks, or ATM, and in your homes. No internet. In an instant, our digital lives ground to a halt. Just like water and electricity, the internet flows through the veins of fiber optic cables. They are the lifelines of our digital world, threading through our neighborhoods, connecting us to the vast expanse of cyberspace. But these lifelines are fragile. They can be disrupted by negligence, road construction works, drainage works, works of other utilities, or even deliberate sabotage. That's why it's crucial, now more than ever, to protect them. Let's remember the lessons of 14th March 2024 and safeguard our fiber. Report fiber cuts to the police. Avoid construction near fiber cables, which are critical information infrastructure and can be found in our communities both under the ground and on poles. Every day there are about 20 cuts across Ghana. Let's treat it like water. Let's treat it like electricity, because without it, we are left in the dark, disconnected from the world. It is my fiber. It is your fiber. It is our fiber. Report fiber cuts to the police. Let's protect it to stay connected.
So yes, welcome back to the Chamber Dialogue once again. Like I said, this edition of the Chamber Dialogue is looking at how you can protect yourself in 2025. Do you have any tips? Well, if you do not, I have the experts right here with me to share some amazing tips which you can use as an individual or a business to protect yourself in 2025. So before we even start the conversation, let's meet our guest. So I'd like the gentleman to my left to introduce himself, and then also the gentleman to my far left to also introduce himself, sir.
Well, I'm Aaron Hushi. I'm with eCrime Bureau,
okay,
and I'm a cybersecurity analyst at the Bureau.
Amazing.
Thank you very much.
Yeah.
I'm Eric Bansa. I'm with the Cybersecurity Authority, the Awareness and Capacity Building Creation Functional Area.
Beautiful. It means that we are sorted. All things protecting ourselves in 2025, you guys can help us out. Now, let's look at 2024. I just want to start straight. I mean, what will be your assessment when you look at the cybersecurity landscape in 2024? How was it for you? I mean, were there any wins? Were there any, were there any positives? Were there any negatives that you'd like to highlight?
Well, basically, 2024 was an amazing year when it comes to the field of cybersecurity because of the amount of work that was put in from all sides. And I wouldn't just limit it to the Cybersecurity Authority. There are so many cybersecurity firms in Ghana currently that are championing the cybersecurity agenda. And so from the organization perspective, a lot of work was put in, awareness. We had the October Cybersecurity Month, which we celebrated, and we did our best to, push the word out there so that individuals out there can understand what cybersecurity is and how they can protect themselves in one way or the other. So, if you want to look at the whole year, if you want to take the year as a whole, I think it was okay. It was
positive.
Yeah, it was positive.
What about you, Eric?
I think, like you said, it was good. The 2024, the year 2024 was quite amazing. Had a lot of activities and milestones. We saw the month of October, which was the National Cybersecurity Awareness Month. Yeah. Within it, there were a series of collaborative engagements which drive down the knowledge of cybersecurity to the citizens. Some activities were even outside the region of Accra, engaging people, the religious organizations, the private sector, the public sector. We were engaging all of them here and there. And that was quite interesting because our focus is to drive down the cybersecurity knowledge. One other thing within the year that has been very impressive in the assessment of cybersecurity within the authority has to do with the implementation of the licensing and accreditation.
Okay.
This is very, very key. When you live within a country where cybersecurity is thriving and you don't know even or you don't have visibility over the cybersecurity professionals, the service providers and the establishment, trust becomes an issue. You don't know who is who. So it becomes a problem when various sectors or institutions are engaging them. But the authority was able to come up with the cybersecurity licensing and accreditation policy. A lot of people have been licensed, a lot of accreditation has gone on, and this places it within a space where various institutions can have that trust in the people to engage for such services and engagement. We can also talk about the launch of the National Cybersecurity Policy and Strategy.
A lot. You achieved a lot within 2024.
Exactly.
Wow.
The policy and strategy. And this policy actually spells out the plan. It's like a blueprint that will drive cybersecurity development within the country.
A short-term, long-term, medium-term?
Yes. It's factored into it. And in fact, so we coupled, or the policy coupled with the act drives our activities and engagement, and that is quite key. There are a lot of things that maybe I can't because of time.
Okay.
But one key thing that I want to use in climaxing this has to do with the Ghana's attainment of the Tier 1 status.
Oh, it happened in 2024?
Yes, in 2024.
Wow.
Where when it comes to the ITU ranking of cybersecurity, the index. So we are among the Tier 1 as a role model country in Africa. And that tells you what cybersecurity has been doing.
Okay.
But Bobby, you know what?
Yeah.
Let me just give out a little stats.
Before you even do that, I want to find out. It's been all positive. I find that you the things you've achieved within 2024, but it's not all rosy. I believe. I mean, I look at levels of awareness, and I must believe there's still a lot of work to be done. When it comes to what would be your assessment of the general levels of awareness? I don't know. You can later on maybe interweave the stats that you have into that.
Exactly.
What would be? Let me start with him. I mean, what would be your level of appreciation? Is there? Are we there yet when it comes to levels of awareness for ordinary individuals when it comes to protecting of their data, their devices, their systems, and also for businesses? Where are we?
Yeah, so like you rightly mentioned, for individuals, you would notice there is a bit of a lapse when it comes to the awareness that is being created out there. But for businesses, for institutions, I believe that these institutions the large institutions, the large corporations are making strides because of the international regulatory, circumstances that surround their operations. And then also with the help of the CSA and the regulatory frameworks they have put in place, they are able to, incorporate these cybersecurity activities in their daily lives, and then it makes it easy for them But with the individuals, you realize that there is still a gap in the level of awareness that is being created. And I'll give you a reason why I say this.
Okay.
So if you have individuals who are currently, or who were in the year 2024, still falling victim to phishing attacks.
Wow. When you say phishing, what do you mean?
Yeah, so by phishing, I mean...
Explain in one sentence.
So we are trying to get an attacker or a malicious attacker will try to get information from sensitive information from an individual. It could be via SMS, it could be via email, it could also be by voice.
So example, what they might send an email to you from Google, but it's not from Google.
Exactly.
And
precisely. And then, you know, trying to request your credentials, trying to request that you carry out some activities and provide some information.
So that's phishing.
Yeah, that's phishing.
Okay.
That's phishing. So if we have situations where there are individuals in the country that are still being victims of these kind of attacks, then you'd realize that there's still a lot of work to be done. There's still a lot of work to be done.
Okay.
I mean, there are countless examples we could cite from all of it. There are social engineering schemes that are still going on, and on a daily basis, we keep getting reports of people falling victim to these kind of attacks. And so, like I mentioned earlier, the institutions are doing very well in adhering to some of these regulatory, you know, frameworks and guidelines, and are making strides. But on the individual level, there's a lot to be done.
Wow. So you spoke about your stats. Talk to me about how you feel about, you know, the levels of awareness. Like he said, I don't know if you agree or if you feel that, you know, it's improved a bit from, you know, 2024 maybe, or 2023 to 2024, even, you know, 2025. Talk to me about where you sit when it comes to the Ghanaians' level of awareness when it comes to cybersecurity and then the dangers, you know, involved.
Yes, thank you, Odi. I agree with him. There are still challenges, despite the milestones that we have chalked. There are still, we are not there yet. There are still challenges, and there are still a journey ahead of us to go. You look at the individuals, yes, like he has rightly said, there are people still who actually needs to understand basic concepts of cybersecurity. And like we have always been saying, cybersecurity is no longer for the technical people alone. It is a social concern. So delving into the social concern, you see that there are a lot of people, my grandmother in the village there, the market woman over there, always complaining of being scammed, Momo fraud and others. You see that all these things is because the cybersecurity level is a bit low.
The awareness
is a bit low. So there is still more to do there. And the reports that we receive, where we sit as far as cybersecurity authority is concerned, also tells us that we still need to work more. For instance, if you take the stats,
give me the numbers.
If you take the stats, we have about 44% being recorded for online fraud. And online fraud. Now, when we talk about the online fraud, investment fraud is included. Romance scam is included, recruitment scam is included. That means that we still have individuals, we still have people in the country who are going or falling victims to some of these frauds.
So this is what 44% of the people you sampled
who reported.
Who 44? So okay.
Who reported? So it is important for us to understand that these are incidents that have been reported.
Oh, okay.
So you can just imagine 44%. So it's like, so more people are out there who have been victims but had not reported. So these projections tells the authority that we have a lot more to do.
Okay, that's 44%. That's quite high.
Yes. Then you unauthorized access such as account takeover, phishing, as he has mentioned, etc., is 15%. That is what has been reported. Then we have online blackmail such as extortion, extortion and others, which is 14%.
Wow.
And of course, cyberbullying is also taking about 9%. These
can you repeat the numbers again for me?
Online fraud, such as investment fraud, romance scam, recruitment scam, that is 44%.
44, that's huge.
Incidents. Then we have unauthorized access, which is 15%. We have online blackmail, which is sextortion and extortion, which is 14%. And it's important for us to take note of this sextortion issue. A lot of people are suffering from this sextortion, but they are unable to even report it. They are unable to report it. So these are just few of the cases or incidents that have come to the notice of Cybersecurity Authority.
Wow.
Information disclosure is 9%. We have online impersonation.
So this would be where someone is, if you can explain that.
Online impersonation, where I go online and then Mr. Bobie, yes, I am Mr. Bobie, I use your credentials, everything, what people know you to be. So it goes closely with identity theft.
Okay, wow. So would it, for example, someone hacks someone's WhatsApp and then goes ahead and then would ask for money from the person's contact list? Would that be a level of impersonation?
So it depends when the person begins to pose as that individual.
Yeah, usually
yes. So there is a level of impersonation over there.
Okay.
There's a level of impersonation, and we see more of these things when it comes to the issues of recruitment and the rest. Or people begin to pose that I'm the minister, I am this, I am the MP, I'm the finance minister. Now, when these things begin to happen, then they now capitalize on leverage on the ignorance of others, and then begin to scam them.
Okay.
Yeah.
So let me ask you. You mentioned online fraud, unauthorized access, sextortion, and extortion, and the likes. If we look at 2025, what are the most significant cyber threats, cybersecurity threats that people need to be aware of? Are these the same things, or would you want to introduce things like AI, and all the deep fakes and the likes? I mean, I don't know if you want to take that for 2025. I mean that's if you are done with your stats.
No, the start. Maybe I just want to add. It will interest you to know, and I think listeners will also be interested to know just a few in terms of the financial laws.
Yes.
In terms of the financial laws, when it comes to business email compromise, over 7 million Ghana cedis has been lost in 2024.
7 million?
Yes. Wow. When it comes to online fraud, over 5 million.
I'm sure it's more.
It's more, yes.
These are the reported ones.
Yes, these are the reported. These things have been lost. So if you look at the figures that we are having, you will realize that it's not just about the individual psychological trauma that he goes through, but the financial loss as well that also comes with it.
To the individual or to the organization?
To the individual, and then the various institutions as well.
Wow.
So these are very key things and it informs the authority to know that there's still more work to be done.
Are we seeing a trend in terms of the losses from year on year? Do you have that data to show that? Okay.
Yes, but I don't have it readily available. But the trend is showing that that is going on. And then, but one thing that we need to also state over here is that the more the reporting of incidents increases, it gives us information also that more and more people are having insight to the awareness creation that we are putting across.
That's great. Oh, I mean, that's why we're using this platform to educate them, 2025, what they can do. Now, for 2025, we mentioned online fraud, unauthorized access, extortion and the likes. Are these the same, cybersecurity, should I say, threat or typologies we are to expect, or there should be more that people should be concerned with as we enter 2025?
I'll say this and more, because we are now having more sophisticated versions of these mentioned threats.
Really, the ones we are struggling with now?
Yes, so that we have something called a phishing 2.0. And that, like I mentioned, or you mentioned earlier, the AI aspects coming in here to drive these attacks and gather information. I mean, you feed the AI with information, and it provides a very authentic looking, crafted attack that can be sent to an individual. The person falls victim, and then, he loses money, he loses a whole lot. And that's what is going to happen now. We also didn't mention the aspects for institutions. In 2024, we had several cases of ransomware attacks. Ransomware attacks. And you see, because they will try to protect their integrity and all that, you wouldn't get this information coming out in the public. But we had, from our end, and I'm sure from the cybersecurity authorities, they had a lot of ransomware attacks coming in. And now, individuals are also at risk.
How different is the ransomware from the phishing?
Right, so the ransomware is basically your data being encrypted.
Yes.
And so you can't have access to the data until you pay a ransom that is demanded from the attacker.
Well, so slow it down for me. So you mentioned your ransomware.
Ransomware.
Phishing 2.0.
2.0.
And then the next one you open, you mentioned, I didn't get that.
So DDoS, or distributed denial of service attacks.
Okay.
So with those kind of attacks, we are looking at traffic flooding your network to cause a standstill in your maybe web service applications and all that.
Okay.
So some sites that should be available, accessible to you and to your clients will now be disrupted, and then business comes to a standstill. But you see how the trajectory is going from last year into the coming year.
Yeah.
So like I've mentioned all these, and we also talk about, the basic ones for the individuals as
Yes.
well. Social engineering.
Social engineering, okay. In 2025?
In 2025, we should expect some social engineering schemes. And these are also going to be evolved from the usual ones that we are seeing.
Hello, your son is sick, make sure you
I mean, now attackers are being smart about these things, and they are trying to, if you do an individual attack, it will take much time, resources. But if you can leverage AI into doing like a full-blown massive attack, several individuals at a go,
will be compromised.
then you are getting a lot of returns from it.
Let me find out. In addition to what he said, do you have any other thing you believe in 2025, like people, like some of the threats that people should be wary of in 2025 for the individuals?
I think as Aaron has said, much of this, so you see that it's just a trend. Most of these threats that we experience within the year 2024 will still be in existence, but we will see it in its more sophisticated form, and most of them being driven by AI. For instance, 2024, there has been a lot of focus on misinformation and disinformation during the electoral period, but within the year 2025, we are going to still experience misinformation and disinformation driven by AI, and there will be seeing more of the deep fakes, where it will be focusing on government officials, it will be focusing on institutional heads and others, and then also within the public space, the kind of news that will be broadcast, the kind of marketing strategies that will be brought out. You see that AI will be driving some of these things within
the misinformation.
Yes.
So by deepfakes, you mean where you see someone like myself saying something, but it actually is not me. They've taken a video of me and they've used AI to make me let it seem like I'm saying something that I originally didn't
So
say.
your head, for instance, could be put.
This is my big head.
Yes. Well, it's not too big, it's just small. It could be put on an image, and then your voice will also be picked.
Wow.
And AI will do this, and then you will get the complete form, just looking like you, seated here, and you'll be speaking. So it will take a level of understanding and consciousness to identify that this is deepfake.
So someone in the village somewhere in the Volta region, the northern region, Ashanti, Greater Accra might see me saying, hey, you know what, go out there and purchase this particular medication. The medication will solve this particular ailment, cancer, but really it's not me. It will appear like it's me, but it's not me.
Maybe let me tell you some story. In the year 2024, an institution lost about $25 million. Just because of deepfake.
No. In this Ghana?
Not in Ghana.
Okay.
Now, you know how it happened. It's not far from us. Cyber security issues are borderless. So it is not far from us. Now, he had a call instructing that pay this amount into this account. The boss called.
Yeah.
And not long, then he said, he gave a Zoom link, organized a Zoom call. Let's get a clearer direction on what I've asked you to do.
Yeah.
So on the Zoom call, the boss was there and some other board members were there.
Yeah.
And the discussion went on.
Yeah.
So he was very much convinced
you could see
that is the boss. So from there he paid. Wow. Then after a day or two, the boss surfaced in the office, a discussion. He said, where? I never instructed.
It was not him.
The money was gone.
We're using deepfake. All right. On that note, we're going to go for a quick break. The discussion is getting exciting and also getting very concerning. Deepfake in 2025, AI in 2025, being used to probably defraud you or your organization.
Fiber optic cables keep Ghana connected. We all need to protect it together. Now, March 14th, 2024 will remain a date etched in Ghana's history. It was the day the nation plunged into darkness, not from a power outage, but from a loss of connectivity. The undersea cables that connected us to the world were severed, and suddenly the internet went silent. No emails, no online meetings, no WhatsApp, no YouTube, no Twitter, no TikTok, no mobile money, no internet in schools, hospitals, banks, or ATM, and in your homes. No internet. In an instant, our digital lives ground to a halt. Just like water and electricity, the internet flows through the veins of fiber optic cables. They are the lifelines of our digital world, threading through our neighborhoods, connecting us to the vast expanse of cyberspace. But these lifelines are fragile. They can be disrupted by negligence, road construction works, drainage works, works of other utilities, or even deliberate sabotage. That's why it's crucial, now more than ever, to protect them. Let's remember the lessons of 14th March 2024 and safeguard our fiber. Report fiber cuts to the police. Avoid construction near fiber cables, which are critical information infrastructure and can be found in our communities, both under the ground and on poles. Every day, there are about 20 cuts across Ghana. Let's treat it like water. Let's treat it like electricity, because without it, we are left in the dark, disconnected from the world. It is my fiber. It is your fiber. It is our fiber. Report fiber cuts to the police. Let's protect it to stay connected.
All right, so you're welcome back to the Chamber Dialogue. Before we left, Sir Aaron and Sir Eric were walking us through some of the dangers, some of the threats you should expect to face in 2025 from the use of AI to roll out deep fakes that would end up deceiving you. You might be seeing me as you're seeing me saying things about you sending money to certain places or buying certain things or patronizing certain services, and it will not be me. You need to be extra careful in 2025. I mean, the phishing attacks, the ransomwares, and all the other social engineering, all the other forms of attacks will still be in 2025, but in a more sophisticated form. So now, what are the tips? What can you do to protect yourself? So I pose that question to you. 2025 for the individual. We'll come to the business. For the individual, what are the tips that individual can use to protect themselves from cyber attacks in 2025?
Right, so for the individuals, I mean, the most common I would like to suggest is we should try as much as possible to enable multi-factor authentication for our devices and the applications that we are on. Because this is the first point of attack before any other attack can be carried out on our mobile devices. Because I'll use mobile devices because most of us, or almost everyone, has a mobile device, and that's where we carry out most of our engagements. And so let's try to enable multi-factor authentication.
That's one.
Yeah, that really helps.
Yeah.
And the second one would be that we should try as much as possible to keep our devices updated. It's really important because almost every attacker out there is going to look for loopholes, vulnerabilities that they can exploit on the devices that we have. I also mentioned that we should think before we click, or think before you tap.
Repeat that. Repeat that.
Think before you click, or think before you tap.
Explain that for me.
Yeah, so I mean, you get an SMS, and you see a link down there saying you've won a free prize. You've won maybe some 50,000 Ghana.
When you have not participated in anything.
And this message comes to you. But because maybe you need that money for something important, you are quickly tapping on the link that has been indicated below. It redirects you to a site, and then all your details go into that particular site. The attacker or the cyber criminal has gotten all the information he needs to actually carry out an attack on you.
So you see some things like, oh, this filling station or oil marketing company, I'm not going to mention names.
Precisely.
You've won $5,000.
Precisely.
Click on this.
There was even one instance where, was it, if I would be permitted to say,
Sure.
One colleague of mine got a message that Bawumia needs some money from him, so he should. And how?
Wow.
So this is
our vice president needs money.
Our vice president needs money from you to further his campaign. Wow. And so these are things that when you see at a first glance, you should be able to understand that this is not real.
You think before you click.
Think before you click.
Or think before you tap.
Think before you tap.
I don't know if you have any more to add for the individuals at the individual level. We'll come to the businesses, individual level. What tips do you have to help them protect themselves? He says, think before you click, think before you tap.
And I think, like we have always preached as an awareness creation unit, your privacy settings are key as an individual.
Explain that.
The devices you use have their privacy settings. And for instance, your credentials, your age, where you live, some vital information about you are processed within that space. Now, you chooses your date of birth and other things. So you chooses who should see those information in terms of setting up that information or activating it. So when you set it as privacy or private, then it means that only the selected people that you yourself have chosen will be privy to that information.
Yes.
Some of us forget about these things. Our date of birth, everything is there. So you see that you go to social media and someone's birthday, the whole world is aware that this is
the person's
Aaron's birthday today. Yeah. That means that the privacy setting has not been activated. So somebody can use that information about you to track you or to do something else. And then we should also be mindful about the things we post.
Our locations and the likes.
Yes, the locations. I am here. You've gone for a tour. You want the whole world to know this is where you are and all this. There's been an incident, for instance, that a whole family there was one person in the family who was actually addicted to social media, posting all the time. And the family went on a holiday and it was out there that the entire family was on. By the time they returned, their home had been ransacked.
Wow.
And that has been the issue. So we should also check the kind of things we
even for, I mean, we don't have these cases in Ghana, but in the States, you find that some of these people in the music industry, some of people have lost their lives simply because they posted that I was here and I was eating.
Exactly.
And then someone can
Exactly.
Anyways.
And you see, trust me, in Ghana here, people are having unfortunate incidents. People are being robbed and others, all because of the exposure they've given themselves on social media, not putting certain information private, but sometimes that consciousness is not there to link it that this is where or how the criminals were able to track it. But so we should be aware of these things. It is happening in Ghana where people are monitoring, tracking people to see where they are, what they are doing, and then they gather information. This is another example. A parent takes their child to school. Probably the child gets admission to one of the elite schools. Let's say Achimota, Mfantepim, and
St. Thomas Aquinas.
Exactly.
Yes,
that's your school, right?
Yes.
Okay. So, they got there and is happy. At long last, my daughter has made it to Wesley Girls.
Wow.
So they took a picture. The child is in the uniform, the crest, everything is there.
Wow.
So she shares it on social media. Now, the threat actors or the cyber criminal also sees that picture online, sees the school, now begins to trace the school, begins to find information about the school, the year, a teacher or two, and then calls back at another time that your child's name is Akosia Manza. Your child has been admitted at the hospital. We have pre-financed so and so. I am the teacher by name so and so.
Wow.
This is a matter of life and death. Every caring parent will pay the money before thinking twice.
Wow. Simply because they posted a picture on social media.
We should be careful with some of these things.
So privacy settings, careful with the information you share.
These are very, very key things.
So those are at the individual level.
Yes, at the individual level.
And unless you have something else to add, but I want to come to businesses and tips they can use to protect themselves.
For the individual too, I think we need to promote more of the awareness creation. We need to promote more of the awareness creation among the individuals.
I was going to come to that.
Yes, the awareness creation is very key, very important. We need to target the various groups, the children. We develop like CSA does. We have a tailored awareness creation environment for materials for the children. We have for the public, we have for businesses, and then we have for the government institutions.
Great.
So these things must be ongoing, and this is what will actually empower them as individuals in terms of protecting their
I just want to add to it.
Yes.
For the awareness creation, there are so many webinars that go around. For e-crime, we normally conduct a lot of webinars.
Yes.
And these are free to the general public. So we share the flyers out. I believe CSA also does their bits. And then they also bring out news releases and all that about the current trends in cybercrime
that are
prevailing.
Yes.
Yes, so it's free. This is free. You can just hop onto any of the webinars
and learn.
And you are able to protect your family, able to protect yourselves. And that way the awareness keeps going on.
Yes.
These are some of the things we should also look at from the individual's perspective.
Okay, now let's come to the businesses. Big businesses in Ghana, thriving, trying to provide goods and services to the ordinary public. Some companies have lost millions of Ghana cedis, and amounts running even higher. What will be the tips, your key tips for businesses in 2025 to help protect themselves from cyber attacks and cyber threats?
So I would like to separate the SMEs.
Yes,
from the large corporations. Because
absolutely.
The large corporations obviously have some form of edge when it comes to these cyber security prevention tips and all that. So the first thing I'll say is that from the SME's point of view, we should try to adopt some cost-effective solutions that are related to our network environment. So,
for example,
you have a small business. You probably have about 20 employees, 20 or 15 employees. You have internet connection all around you. Communication only goes through emails and all that, and so you have a network in place. Okay, there are some network tools that will help you as a small business to be able to prevent some of these attacks we are talking about. And a typical example of these kind of tools would be an IPS, is an intrusion prevention system.
Okay.
And an intrusion detection system.
Okay.
You could also have a firewall in place, and these would help ensure that your employees as well as your business in a way are protected. Then the second thing you would like to do is invest in training your staff. Create awareness for these employees to be able to be that first line of defense, because it's been said around that the most vulnerable of an institutional system are the employees, the human factor, and that is where some of these attacks start from. So if these individuals have been trained on the basics of cybersecurity and they know about it, then they're able to protect their systems.
So you mentioned the IPS. Invest in your staff.
And also one other key thing, most small and medium-sized institutions or businesses do not look at is there's something we call a vulnerability assessment.
Okay,
and this clearly identifies weaknesses in your systems and provides solutions for them.
So something like that will be done by a company like yours, like e-crime. You come into your organization, do an assessment, of your organization and
your critical assets, and then we are able to tell you, okay, you need to patch this up, you need to do this,
do that,
and that will ensure that you are covered. There's also another aspect where some of these small institutions or small medium-sized institutions do not have accurate backups. Sometimes they could have a backup that is just for a short period, and for a very long period there's no backup, and this is where the ransomware attacks actually hit the most.
Okay.
If you don't have backups to roll back onto, then it means you've lost a lot of information
once you're attacked.
There are DLP systems. I mean, there are a whole lot of solutions out there that if you feel your institution doesn't have enough money for, they can be tailored to suit whatever packages that you would prefer to
Okay. So these are for the SMEs.
These are for the SMEs, and for the larger.
I hope he's not taking all your insights. Yes.
I know my bosses.
Yes, absolutely.
So for the larger institutions, I mean, it's about improving your processes.
Okay.
Yes, it's because they have the regulatory guidance from institutions like the CSA to keep them in check. And there is also one particular document that actually caught my interest from the CSA. That's the directive for protection of the CII.
The CII directive.
Yes, the CII directives. And it clearly states what institutions are supposed to do to be able to protect their critical assets, what the authority is also supposed to do to ensure that they are compliant. What the authority is also supposed to do to ensure that they are compliant. And so if these organizations, these institutions can just, align themselves with some of these documents that we have, we wouldn't be having some of the cyber threats and cyber issues we have.
So for the big institutions, they should, mind their processes.
Precisely.
All right.
Training is also important.
Also important.
Because,
yes.
I mean, day in, day out, you have employees going out of the system, new employees coming in. And I see a lot of institutions today prioritizing their national service personnel. Yes, because you have NSPs coming in to perform some of the duties that ordinary staff perform.
Yes.
And if they don't have any training and are sharing passwords in the office because it's a normal thing, you will definitely get compromised at the end of the day. So this is also something that.
So for you are commending these institutions that are
institutions. They are really taking steps in ensuring that this.
Amazing. I'm seeing he's smiling, agreeing with everything you're saying. Yes. So I don't know if you would also want to break it down between the.
I really agree with everything that Jeroen has said.
Great.
I'll just continue from where he ended with the national service, who have just come. We all know they are temporary business. So I just want to pick it from the issue of insider threat that we need to be very careful about, whether be it a small SMEs or the big companies. We should be mindful of the insider threat. Now, this insider threat, we could have the ignorant ones, and then we could have the disgruntled ones.
Okay.
So the disgruntled ones might be people who are hurt, who might have been offended as a result of some happening.
They didn't get their 13th month.
Or they are not satisfied with the way things are going within the workplace. Such people might be having vital information concerning the institution that could easily be leaked.
Even not fearing that they could be prosecuted,
No. So you see, they do this in a way, sometimes they do it to punish the institution for not treating them fairly. And you have the innocent or ignorant ones also, will be people who do not actually understand the cybersecurity concept. So they may be doing things that they are not aware that might be causing problem to the organization. So it is important for the institutions to actually build the capacity of every employee, right from the CEO down to the cleaner or the gate man.
Wow.
As far as cybersecurity or ensuring this cybersecurity is concerned within the institutions. Then in addition to this, there is the need for us also to go with the issue of compliance. Okay. The various institutions, like he said, giving an example of the CII directive of the Cybersecurity Authority, there should be compliance. We must make sure that the rules are set within the organization to ensure cybersecurity principles and procedures. And then every institution or every individual must follow that procedure.
Okay.
Coupled with that, as he has talked about awareness creation, I'll come to add to that. But you realize that, like we said from the beginning of the discussion, the CEO, the board level, how many of them understand the concept of cybersecurity so that when the budget goes there, they could make a case for it.
So making the investment.
We go out there educating people that buy the authentic antivirus, original. So if that,
so even antivirus, they have a
so he makes a budget for it and sends it up there. who is at the managerial level that understands that he doesn't have to use the crack antivirus.
So they're thinking of cost.
Exactly. So managerial level, there should be that understanding
That appreciation.
of cybersecurity. They need the essence of it. It is key for the SME, for the bigger companies, the businesses. It is very, very key. So that budgets, it will shock you to know that there are institutions where budget is not made for cybersecurity.
Especially, I mean, like within this day and age when everything is happening on a digital space.
Exactly. So now that we are into 2025, institutions who have not made budget for cybersecurity should be reconsidering it and finding a way of putting it into their budgets.
Or else, I mean, they might lose more money than, more than money, their reputation and their credibility as well.
Exactly, because once there is an incident, the integrity of the institution, the reputation and everything is at stake. Which people are trusting you. So this is very key. And then the awareness creation needs to be created for them. Let me give you one example. There was a story within it's even used as a drill.
Okay.
You bear me out when I come out with this. So I get to your institution and I drop a pen drive on the floor. I drop a pen drive on the floor, and I'm talking about pen drive, maybe 100 gig plus.
I'm gone.
That's what we are interested in.
Absolutely.
So
I was going to say
maybe
32 gig.
I've put something on that pen drive, a spyware or something. Somebody picks it. Whose pen drive? He doesn't find the owner. He slots it into a device.
And he sees it's 100 gig.
By the time you finish slotting it in, the spyware has settled on your device.
And then it gets into the entire system.
Exactly.
That's it.
But how would someone know that I don't have to pick a pen drive and just go and slot it into a machine or a system? Through awareness creation, capacity building, regular one.
Wow. I mean, the more you explain it, the more it seems quite scary, because day in and I mean, as we go, should I say, about our days, you find that we are picking and inserting pen drives from different sources into our systems.
Yeah, so we'll be as part of the cybersecurity principles established in some institutions. Some institutions don't even encourage the use of pen drives any longer. So the USB ports are always deactivated. They are disabled.
So what are they using? Cloud?
No, you communicate by email
emails,
and those stuff. So you don't take pen drive from somewhere, because people are not able to separate official pen drives from their personal ones. It comes to the office, and that's the pen drive is using to download movies to go and watch at home.
Interesting. Now, I mean, for me, can we look at, I mean, obviously, you as CSE authority, you're doing your part. ECOAM, you're also doing your part. We as Chamber, we're also doing our part. What role does collaboration, how important is collaboration in all of this? To ensure that the awareness goes on, at the individual level, and also at the, you've been doing this for a long time, and you're always pushing for collaboration. How important is collaboration, governmental, private, public sector, and all of that?
Well, one key aspect of collaboration here, it comes with the sharing of intelligence, threat intelligence amongst the institutions. And so once we have a unified platform where we are able to share ideas, we are able to share advisories, we're able to share best practices. In that way, we are able to, collectively defend ourselves from these kind of attacks. So that's where collaboration is key.
Intelligence.
Yes, intelligence. And you see, most of the defense mechanisms that we normally put in place as cybersecurity experts come from the amount of intelligence we get. It really informs the activities some of us carry out, in our businesses and in all of that. So once we have that collaboration going on, the collaboration could also be in the form of awareness, the awareness creation as well, like you mentioned earlier. So there are so many aspects of this cybersecurity field that demand collaboration from the various institutions.
Okay. I mean, it's important that organizations engage
It's
outfits
crucial.
like A-Crime Bureau to do their, especially when you look at the assessment level, like you mentioned. It's important they come to you, they do that, and also even when it comes to the intelligence gathering and even the collaboration, they can engage outfits like yours.
Precisely.
Absolutely. So, I mean, for you,
Collaboration for us is key.
Yeah.
It's one of our key pillars driving the Cybersecurity Authority.
Yeah.
Even with the act, coming up with the act, is collaboration.
Yeah.
It wasn't written in silo.
Yeah.
All stakeholders has to be brought together. Key people have to make inputs. Now, when it happens that way, that links me to one of the importance of the collaboration. Stakeholders feel being part of whatever policy that is brought to regulate the system. They own the policy. In that way, implementation is not difficult.
smooth.
Now, Dr. Njibwe will tell you in his new book that he has launched, The 10 Commandments of Cybersecurity Essentials, that collaboration also creates a platform for threat intelligence, like he rightly said. So that as you build a common platform and collaborate, you share ideas in terms of the emerging trends, incidents, and how it was resolved. And that is why if you look at the structure of the Cybersecurity Authority, one of the key things there is the national set. Within the national set, we have the sectorial sets. Each of these sectorial sets have identified institutions under them. So, for instance, we have the education set. We have the banking, that is banking and finance, the financial set.
Okay.
We have that of telecommunications.
Okay.
So all these sets, the various institutions are within it. Then they share intelligence. And that helps to drive the cybersecurity landscape positively. We can also talk of international collaborations. They also support in terms of knowledge sharing. They also support beyond knowledge sharing, sometimes even financial support.
Okay.
So, Cybersecurity Authorities collaboration, for instance, with the Council of Europe,
Okay.
gives the opportunity for the Council of Europe
To support.
to support and sponsor a whole capacity building for the judiciary within the country.
Wow.
So collaboration, like he said, has a lot of positives from diverse angles,
Diverse.
being financial support, knowledge sharing, threat intelligence, and even bringing on board experts
Yes.
to deal with issues.
Wow.
And what we are doing here is collaboration.
I know, absolutely. All right, so unfortunately, our time is up. But I want to find out from you any final words with respect to individuals and businesses protecting themselves in 2025 to ensure that their data, their devices, their processes, their systems are completely protected from cyber threats. Any final words from you, sir?
Well, from my end, I mean, we've spoken a lot about how to, protect ourselves entering 2025 and all that. And one of the things I would like to mention with regards to how, a final comment on this is that the compliance from institutions is key. Compliance from institutions is key. Cybersecurity Authority has done a lot. We have the other acts from the Data Protection Authority, and then even the Electronic Communications Act, Electronic Transactions Act. I mean, these come together to ensure that we are being guided.
An ecosystem that
Precisely.
is well
we are being guided as to how to approach some of the activities that we carry out, and then ensure that we are safe in the process of doing so.
Compliance.
So compliance for me is one of the things, and then, like we've mentioned already, awareness creation. We cannot stop creating awareness.
Absolutely.
We cannot. If it was even up to me, if institutions could have, trainers in their institutions, so that periodically they carry out some of these awareness without having to even go as far as contracting, cybersecurity professionals come and do.
And Ikram, how would you make your money then?
That's one question. But I mean, you see, there are levels in cybersecurity.
That's true.
Of course. So once you have the basics down, and then there are times that we can also come and then improve upon whatever it is that you have learned. Yeah, then we make progress from there.
Amazing.
Because imagine Ukraine trying to be chiseled and saying, we We don't want anyone to carry out their own training. Come to us. How do those who are also deprived get a chance to enjoy from it?
All right. Yes. Any final words from you, sir?
Thank you very much. I think, as Aaron has said, it's important. Compliance is very key, and various individuals, you should be mindful of your devices, how you protect them, their privacy settings. Institutions must make sure that they invest heavily into cybersecurity, and especially the giant companies, the big ones. I just want to indicate that there is a thin line between IT and cybersecurity. For that matter, you should not be satisfied that you have an IT expert, but rather step up the knowledge and the skill level of the IT expert to become a cybersecurity professional.
Nice.
That is very key.
Nice.
That is very, very key. So we should take note of this. And lastly, to the public, to the businesses, children, and the government, in case of any incident, cyber incident, don't hesitate to call short code 292.
Repeat that again.
Short code 292.
What would they get there?
Now, when you call short code 292, an officer will pick your call. It's a 24/7 network. So at any point in time, call. Someone will be there to respond to you. All you need to do is to lodge your complaint. They take few information or details about you. Now, it depends on the situation or the issue. Cybersecurity Authority has collaboration with other international bodies. You can talk about WhatsApp, Facebook, and other places. Yes.
Okay.
So, depending on your incident and the issue, they take the details. They will investigate. When there's a need to take down, for instance, an image.
Yes. Give me an example. On Facebook, for example. Or
Yes. So they collaborate with them.
Yeah.
And give them the details. Once Cybersecurity Authority investigates your case and feels that this is an incident, it is genuine, they collaborate with them, report the case, and because of the collaboration they have, now taking it down is easier.
So give me an example of an issue when someone can actually call you and have it resolved.
Your nude picture.
Wow.
Your nude picture. You know the Cybersecurity Act 2020 criminalizes the posting or sharing of nude pictures. It's a criminal offense. Now, by adventure or peradventure or anyhow, you find your nude picture online. Now, yours is to report to 292. Now, they will ask for some details, maybe the link, the site, and then how it happened, a brief information. Now, they liaise with the site that the nude picture is actually, then they liaise with them, collaborate with them, and then ensure that that picture is what is taken down. Similar things too are also done as far as account impersonations are concerned. There are ministers, there are MPs who have over 100 accounts, which is genuinely not for them.
Yeah.
People have impersonated.
Wow. Yeah. So the same thing, you can call 292.
292.
Okay.
And it is not only when you have an incident. If you even want to purchase something or you want to go into some transaction, online engagement, and you are not very certain or sure, call 292.
Wow.
Have an engagement with them on what you are doing. They will verify.
Wow.
And they can tell you go ahead or don't go ahead.
Wow, that is amazing. The number is 292. If you have anything, you're on Instagram and you want to purchase something, some new new clothes, new shoe, and you're not certain, call 292. If your news have gone out because someone compromised your phone, and you don't be shy, call 292 and report it. If you have any issue with, people breaching your data, your devices, call the number 292. Well, the conversation today on this edition of the Chamber Dialogue has been protecting yourself in 2025. Tips. Thank you so much, Sir Eric, and thank you so much, Sir Aaron. Sir Eric from the Cybersecurity Authority and Sir Aaron from the E-Crime Bureau. I'm very, very grateful. It's been an amazing conversation, and go ahead, implement the tips, apply the tips to ensure you have an amazing 2025. Catch you again in another edition of the Chamber Dialogue. Bye-bye.
Did you remember to send the email to the client?
Charlie, the network day down. It did so since the weekend, so I don't feel do anything.
I figured it was just me. That's what is happening to our network.
I called the customer care the weekend where they talk me say they get some small problems, so they solve them up to now.
Problem and they still not fixed it.
I shock say.
I got some part before telco, make a call am. Okay.
Hey Roland,
Hi Charlotte, how are you doing?
I'm good. Oh, Charlie, your side.
Charlie, normal vibes, but Charlie, the network has been down all weekend. I need internet to work. What is happening?
Charlie, the weekend has been crazy. There was a fiber cut and it affected the whole area.
What? Fiber cuts. Which one to that?
Oh, it simply means a fiber cable is torn. So fiber cables are what provide service to you. So a torn fiber cable means interruption in service.
But then how then do you lay cables for them to easily get to?
Bro, we dig the ground and lay them there. Oh.
So what happened?
So usually construction workers break them without knowing. You know, those that construct the roads, fuel stations, galamsey operators and the like. In fact, anything that digs deep has a tendency of breaking a fiber cable. Even bush burning can destroy fiber cables, you know. But you know what? Don't worry. Our engineers have found where the break is and they're almost done working on it.
I see. So how soon should we expect it back up?
Oh, give us maximum 2 to 3 hours and you'll be sorted.
Alright then. Thank you very much.
You're welcome. Bye.
Well, I mean now we know the problem, so before wait.
Okay, that means we have to wait for like 2 hours. I think I was gonna break, go get something chop. I'm tired.
I mean, I got home. Time for go.